Hey Nagios Community, Benjamin here, and this video is all about the Core Configuration Manager in Nagios XI. We also call it the CCM to make it easy on us. Essentially, Nagios XI is built on top of Nagios Core, and Nagios Core is very heavy on configuration files, and you got to modify them one by one with the command line. Well, in XI, it's completely simplified and empowers you to see all kinds of options that you've never maybe even imagined, and you can apply multiple configurations all at once. I'm going to highlight a couple things that I think are really cool to know right off the bat, but definitely check out our YouTube series about the Core Config Manager. That gets into the nuts and bolts about how it works, and definitely there's always documentation and experimentation just looking around. All right, let's start off. All right, so you can access the Core Config Manager from your homepage here by selecting this gear icon and selecting Core Config Manager. Here you'll take just to a front dashboard screen here, and it shows you just a summary of your objects being monitored, your hosts and host groups and services, gives you some snapshot information here and other things. To start off with, we recommend just looking through the menu here. There's quick tools, there's monitoring section here, alerting. There's just all these different sections here that are worth checking out, because this is gonna be where you can modify so many important things that you maybe have never even thought of. So we definitely recommend checking out all of these different sections here. Click on hosts, and it just lists out all of the different hosts you have configured for monitoring. And you can click on one of these here and start to see all the different fields you can modify within that setup. Now, if you're running Nagios Core, all of these settings are individualized into a text file for each host, and you got to edit it by hand. Whereas here, you can actually discover different aspects of a host that you can monitor. A lot of users are enlightened to discover, wow, I didn't know that field existed or that option existed. And some users, when they switch over to XI, they actually re-import all their hosts using the XI's configurations because it has so many more options, and they want to set it up, in their words, the right way or a better way next time. So this is definitely worth checking out here just to see what options there are for monitoring a host. But the tool I wanted to highlight that's a very powerful component of the CCM is a bulk modification tool. So you have your list of hosts, and let's say, you know what, I want to modify some of these. I want to add a parent to some of these and make them children. Well, instead of going, individually into these and assigning a parent one by one, you can use a special tool called the bulk modification tool. I'll show you practically what that looks like. Let's just get a visual on this. So to start off, we have our map here under network status map. And you can see under our Nagios process, everything is even here. And Nagios XI has no visibility into how your network's actually configured. It doesn't see any kind of hierarchies or anything because we haven't defined them. What we can do then is go back to our Core Config Manager, and then under Tools, select the Bulk Modifications tool, and we can select Parent Hosts. We'll select that, and let's say this top one here is a switch, and we want to add some hosts that are being connected to that switch. So we can select this child here, and we'll do some multiple selections here. We'll select all these demo boxes and one other one here. We'll add selected. Now it shows up over here. We'll close, and all we got to do next is hit save changes. Now you can add other features here. You can do host inheritance options, service inheritance options. We'll leave it as standard and click save changes. And they've saved the changes, but we got to apply. So we'll click apply configuration. Now the bulk modifications tool is going in through the CCM. It's going in and modifying all those core config files. Now it's been restarted and we're ready to view it. So we'll go back to our home and back to our network status map. And we can see now our host ending in 176 is now the parent for these other hosts. And that's a quick way you can do a bulk modification on several hosts at once. It's just one of the many great tools in the CCM. Going back to the Core Config Manager, one other thing I'll highlight in this video is the recent snapshots. So before I made that bulk modifications, it took a snapshot of my system, just how it was currently configured, how the hosts were set up, how many, and things like that. Now, when I used that tool and hit apply, it created a new snapshot of my new state. And what the powerful thing about these snapshots are is that you can go back in time to a previous state of monitoring and you can restore that. So if I'm looking at this and I said, you know what, I want to go back to before I did that parent change, but I can actually just click on restore and then the core config manager will load up that snapshot. All right, so once it's loaded, then it gives me the option to apply configurations. So I'll click apply yet again, and now it's going back and restoring that snapshot. And we can see that by clicking on home, back to network status map. And once again, we no longer have that parent-child relationship defined. So that is just two of the many powerful features of the Core Configuration Manager. Definitely recommend checking it out. Now, the snapshot is going to snapshot all of your different hosts and service configurations and things that are being actively monitored. A backup is different. A backup is going to actually save your Nagios XI experience. That's your users, your dashboards, your reports, all kinds of things like that. And so make sure you're also scheduling your backups for your XI instance. So a snapshot, yeah, you can move a snapshot over to a new XI instance right away and get your monitoring of hosts and services back up instantly. But to actually restore all of your saved XI settings and configurations, you're going to want to use a backup for that. All right, I hope this is helpful. Dive back into the CCM, look around, check out the series on the CCM, check out the documentation, and keep monitoring. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel where we're making content just for IT pros like yourself, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much.